powerful spiritual event is unfolding. You are chosen to receive this message. Wait until you hear what was kept hidden from you. My beloved child, a stirring has begun around you, one so quiet that the world cannot hear it, yet so powerful that the heavens themselves lean in to watch. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not with a whisper this time, but with a trumpet call meant specifically for your spirit. The title you have just read is not poetic language. It is a declaration of something unfolding behind the veil. A powerful spiritual event is moving toward you, and you were chosen long before today to receive this message. There are things that were hidden in your path, things you were never meant to carry, and now the time has come for them to be revealed and removed. Listen closely, because Archangel Michael is guiding this moment with precision. He stands where light meets shadow, cutting through confusion with the sword of truth. He has watched you walk through silent battles, battles you never named out loud, battles that drained you because they were never yours to fight. But now something is shifting. This is not random, accidental, or coincidental. This is a divine appointment, and you are standing in the center of it. There is a reason your life has felt different lately. There is a reason you've sensed tension in the atmosphere, like something was about to break open. What you felt was not chaos, it was movement. It was alignment. It was the echo of heaven adjusting the pieces of your life so that what was hidden could finally come into the light. Archangel Michael is revealing that your steps have not been wasted. Every delay, every disappointment, every confusing turn, none of it was a punishment. It was preparation for what you're hearing right now. My dear one, there is a truth you must receive. You were chosen. Not by accident. Not by default. Chosen intentionally. Chosen carefully. Chosen by name. Archangel Michael has been guarding the path in front of you because something sacred is attached to your future. Something the darkness tried to bury before you could discover it. That hidden thing is what this message is all about. And what was kept from you is not just information. It is identity, power, clarity, and spiritual inheritance. You're not just learning something new today. You are reclaiming something ancient. There is a veil that has been over your life for years. You saw glimpses of breakthrough and then felt it slip away. You saw moments of clarity interrupted by confusion. You felt aligned one day and attacked the next. This cycle was not because you were doing something wrong. It was because something around you did not want you to see what heaven always intended you to know. But Archangel Michael is tearing that veil now. Pay attention to what you feel in your spirit as you hear these words. Something inside you knows this is true. There's a spiritual event happening around you right now, even as you listen, and it is already reshaping the trajectory of your life. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit recognizes its arrival. Archangel Michael is positioning you to receive revelations that were withheld from you. Revelations about your purpose, your relationships, your assignments, and your protection. There is something you were never meant to walk blind in, and heaven is correcting that blindness today. Do not think for a moment that you stumbled into this message. Archangel Michael does not waste movement. Everything in the unseen realms is intentional. You were brought here because a window has opened above your life. That window will not stay open forever, but right now heaven is pouring clarity, warning, and divine truth into your path. You must stay with this message, because the moment the revelation becomes clear, everything around you will begin to shift. There is more hidden than you realize. There are motivations, conversations, and spiritual forces that were functioning behind your back. Some were meant to delay you. Some were meant to distract you. Some were meant to drain you before you discovered your true spiritual authority. But Archangel Michael is exposing all of it, layer by layer, moment by moment. Every line of this message is removing a chain you didn't know was wrapped around you. By the time this revelation is complete, you will not be the same. You will walk differently. You will see differently. You will discern differently. And hear this clearly. Once something is exposed in the spirit, it loses its power. That is what heaven is doing for you right now. Something hidden is about to lose its influence forever. Before this unfolds further, pause inside your spirit for one moment. Not with fear, not with uncertainty, with readiness. Because the next part of this message will uncover what was kept from you. And once it is revealed, nothing in your life will remain where it has been. Hold tight, because what comes next will reshape everything you thought you understood about your current season. Type "I welcome the revelation" in the comments if this is awakening something inside you. Blessing code 441 has just been released. My cherished soul, something significant is moving through the corridors of your life, and Archangel Michael is stepping even closer in this moment. What began as a whisper in your spirit is now unfolding into a full revelation, one that was kept out of your reach for far too long. There are things you sensed intuitively, but could never fully name. Shadows that moved around you without explanation, emotions that rose without clarity, delays that felt too strategic to be accidental. All of these quiet disturbances were not random. They were indicators of something hidden beneath the surface. Archangel Michael has been waiting for the right moment to unveil this, and that moment is now. There has been a barrier over your path, one placed there by forces that understood the weight of your destiny, even when you did not. Sometimes the greatest threat you carry is not your weakness, but your potential, because potential is what darkness fears the most. You have walked through seasons where you could feel things shifting in the spiritual realm, but could not grasp the full picture. You felt resistance in areas that should have been easy. You felt heaviness where there should have been peace. You felt interruption where there should have been flow. These signs were not failures. They were signals. And Archangel Michael is interpreting those signals for you in this precise moment. Something has been watching you, not from a place of love, but from a place of calculation. This is why certain opportunities pause without warning. This is why relationships shifted suddenly. This is why your emotions felt unstable at times, almost as if they were reacting to something unseen rather than something physical. You are not imagining it. Your spirit has been picking up on movements that your natural eyes could not translate. Archangel Michael is revealing that the unseen world around you has been more active than you realized, and heaven had to wait until you were spiritually ready to understand what was being hidden. You were not meant to continue in the dark. You were not meant to walk blindfolded through your own calling. There is clarity destined for your life, and heaven is determined that you receive it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, the sword of truth, glowing with a brilliance meant to cut through every layer of deception. He has watched over your path, not as a distant guardian, but as a warrior committed to your awakening. And what he is showing you is this: the hidden thing in your life was never meant to have authority over you. It only had power because it remained unseen. Revelation destroys influence, and revelation is happening now. There are people in your life whose intentions do not match their words. Not everyone who stands beside you stands for you. This does not mean you should live in suspicion or fear. It means that heaven is clarifying the difference between loyalty and proximity. Some people have been close to you only because your light benefits them. Some were drawn to you because your spirit carries something they cannot produce. Some were in your life because the enemy hoped their influence would drain your strength before you stepped into your purpose. This is what Archangel Michael is exposing. This is what heaven is lifting the veil from. Not to shame anyone, but to protect the calling you carry. You may notice that certain connections begin to shift. Conversations may feel different. Your intuition may feel sharper. Your boundaries may become stronger without effort. This is all part of the unveiling. You are not losing people. You are losing access to what was hindering your next level. When heaven reveals the hidden, heaven also redirects the path. You will soon understand why certain doors closed, why certain opportunities paused, and why certain people drifted. The hidden reason is being uncovered, and it will make sense in a way that brings peace instead of pain. Idea 1. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something deeper. There is a spiritual inheritance attached to your name. There are gifts you have not fully tapped into. There is insight, wisdom, and intuitive clarity that has been dormant, waiting for activation. The hidden thing was designed to dim your awareness of who you truly are in the spirit. But that dimming is ending. You are stepping into a new level of discernment. You are stepping into a new level of inner authority. You are stepping into a new level of spiritual identity. This revelation is not just exposing what was hidden from you. It is awakening what was hidden within you. Take a breath and allow this truth to settle. Heaven is aligning itself with your life in an intentional, supernatural way. Archangel Michael is not simply delivering a message. He is positioning you for transformation. The next unfolding will reveal even deeper truths, truths that will help you understand the full picture of what has been happening around you. There is more to uncover, and the weight of that revelation will shift the ground beneath your feet in the best possible way. Stay present. Stay open. The moment you feel right now is only the beginning of what heaven is preparing to reveal. Something profound is coming, and your spirit already knows it. Allow the next wave of revelation to reach you completely. Type "I stand in the light" in the comments if this message is resonating within you. Blessing code 553 is now released. My radiant soul, breathe deeply, because what is approaching in this moment carries the weight of heaven's intention. Archangel Michael has stepped even nearer, and his presence surrounds you like a shield of living fire. You may not see him with your physical eyes, but your spirit feels this shift. Something ancient, something powerful, something divinely orchestrated is unfolding around you. You were chosen to hear this message because what has been hidden from you is not small. It is foundational. It touches the core of your destiny, your identity, and your spiritual trajectory. The moment you opened yourself to this revelation, the veil began to unravel, and now heaven is preparing to show you what darkness has worked so hard to conceal. There have been signs in your life that pointed toward this unveiling long before today. Moments where you felt watched, moments where you felt drained without reason, moments where your peace was interrupted in ways you could not explain. You thought they were emotional phases, but Archangel Michael reveals they were spiritual indicators. The atmosphere around you was shifting because something in the unseen realm was preparing to break. And now the clarity you've waited for is arriving. Heaven does not expose without purpose, nor reveal without intention. Everything that is coming to light is meant to free you, empower you, and reposition your entire life toward alignment. You must understand this crucial truth. What was hidden from you was never meant to stay hidden. It remained in the shadows only because you had not yet stepped into the strength required to face it. The spiritual maturity you carry now, the awareness you've gained, the sensitivity you've developed, the resilience you've built, has made this moment possible. Heaven chose this season because you were finally ready to hear what once would have overwhelmed you. And Archangel Michael stands by your side as both guardian and witness, ensuring that nothing in this revelation harms you. Instead, it will liberate you. What has been concealed involves connections, environments, and energies that were functioning behind your life. You sensed oddities in certain relationships. You felt the tug-of-war between loyalty and intuition. You noticed the subtle push of negativity or the heaviness that followed certain interactions. Your spirit always knew there was more going on than what appeared on the surface. Archangel Michael now confirms that there were motivations, conversations, and spiritual assignments working against your clarity. This does not mean the people involved are evil. It means your destiny is significant enough for the spiritual realm to react to it. There are individuals who have spoken well in front of you, but differently behind your back. There are situations that appeared harmless, but carried hidden limitations. There are environments you walked into that drained your spirit because they were never aligned with your calling. Heaven has been waiting for the right time to free you from these influences. Not by force, but by revelation. Because when you can see clearly, you can choose wisely. And when you choose wisely, your life accelerates in ways that darkness cannot interrupt. Archangel Michael is now showing you the truth. Your spirit has always recognized the misalignment, even when your emotions were confused. This is why you felt mixed signals around some people. This is why certain opportunities created inner resistance. This is why you felt unsettled even when everything looked fine. The unseen world was signaling you, and now heaven is confirming that your intuition was right. You were never paranoid. You were perceptive. You were responding to spiritual reality, not emotional distortion. There is something else that Archangel Michael wants you to understand. What was hidden from you was not just external. Part of it was internal. There are gifts within you that have been asleep. There is a calling that has been flickering like a flame waiting for wind. You have always carried more spiritual power than you realize. Your interruptions, your delays, your disappointments, many of them were attempts to keep you disconnected from that inner authority. Heaven is now awakening every dormant part of you. Your discernment will sharpen. Your intuition will amplify. Your spiritual awareness will increase. You will begin to see people and situations through a clearer lens, one that cannot be manipulated or clouded. This is why this message is so important. Heaven is preparing you for a transition, and this revelation is the doorway. Once the hidden thing is fully exposed, your life will begin shifting rapidly. Opportunities will open with ease. Peace will replace confusion. Clarity will replace hesitation. Strength will replace uncertainty. And the influence of anything that once drained you will be removed entirely. But for this transformation to occur, you must stay connected to this unfolding. The next revelation will reveal the root of what has been operating around you. Take a moment and center yourself, because the next unveiling will shift not just what you know, but how you perceive your own path. You are standing at the edge of breakthrough, and Archangel Michael is commanding the atmosphere around your life. Stay with this message, because the most important part is still ahead, and heaven does not want you to miss a single detail. Before you move forward, I need you to show that you are receiving this clarity with intention. Type "I embrace the truth" in the comments. Blessing code 778 is now activated. If this message is speaking to you, lift it higher. Like this message so more can find it. Comment your confirmation. Share it with someone you love. And if you feel led, subscribe to stay connected to every divine revelation released here. There is a sacred work happening through this mission, a movement designed to awaken souls who are walking in the dark, unaware of the spiritual battle surrounding their lives. When you support this mission, you are not giving to a creator. You are sowing into the spread of God's light across thousands of hungry hearts. Just as the title warns of hidden truths coming to the surface, your support becomes the oil that keeps this flame burning. I speak this to you in the first person because your action in this moment is a divine response, not a casual gesture. Heaven sees those who sow into revelation, and God multiplies back into their lives with rivers of clarity and protection. If you feel the pull in your spirit, obey it. The super thanks button, the membership option, and the donation link through PayPal in the description are open portals for your seed. Step into this moment with faith, and let heaven mark your obedience. My awakened soul, step gently into this moment, because what you are about to hear carries the weight of heaven's intention pressing directly into your spirit. Archangel Michael stands guard over this very exchange, ensuring that nothing interferes with the revelation prepared for you. Each word that reaches you now is part of a deliberate unfolding, one designed to illuminate the hidden corners of your life. What has been concealed is layered, complex, and deeply intertwined with your destiny. You are stepping into the heart of the matter, the place where truth meets transformation, and the place where your spirit begins to fully understand what has been happening around you all this time. Let your heart remain steady as you receive this. Archangel Michael reveals that much of the spiritual pressure you have faced recently did not appear randomly. It was the result of your spirit coming into alignment with your next assignment. When a person is chosen, when heaven marks their path, the atmosphere around them does not remain silent. The unseen realm reacts. Energies shift. Forces stir. Old patterns attempt to hold on. This is why you experience sudden resistance in places you once felt comfortable. This is why familiar environments began feeling spiritually heavy. This is why your intuition heightened without warning. These were not symptoms of instability. These were signs of elevation. You have been stepping into a higher calling without fully realizing it. And with every step upward, the things around you that were never meant to accompany you have begun to reveal their true nature. Some individuals in your life have acted strangely in recent seasons. Some pulled back suddenly. Some became distant, bold, unpredictable, or quietly resentful. Others grew overly attached, overly curious, or strangely invested in your personal affairs. None of this was accidental. Archangel Michael reveals that your rising spiritual sensitivity disrupted the comfort of those who were relying on your uncertainty to keep you accessible. What was hidden from you is now surfacing. Certain people carried intentions that were not aligned with your well-being. Some admired your light but resented the responsibility of maintaining their own. Some wanted your wisdom without offering loyalty. Some remained close because your presence uplifted them, even as they contributed very little to your growth. Your spirit began to sense these imbalances long before your mind could articulate them, and heaven is now granting you the language to understand what you have been feeling. There is also an emotional truth you must confront. You have often given more than you receive. You have extended grace where accountability was needed. You have carried others during seasons when no one carried you. You have allowed your heart to stretch further than wisdom advised. This tenderness is a gift, but it became vulnerable to hidden drains, emotional, spiritual, and relational. Archangel Michael steps forward now to sever the cords attached to your spirit that were disguised as bonds, attachments, or obligations. You were not meant to be pulled down by the weight of others' expectations. You were meant to rise. Something else has been hidden from you as well, something internal and equally significant. There is a part of yourself you have not fully recognized, a part that has been buried beneath responsibility, trauma, disappointment, or fear. A part of you that carries fierce spiritual authority. You were born with a mantle, a calling, and a sensitivity to the unseen that others do not possess. This is why certain environments were uncomfortable for you. This is why you felt the need to withdraw at times. This is why you could sense dishonesty even when no one spoke a word. Your spirit is naturally attuned to truth, and heaven designed you this way for a divine purpose. As the hidden becomes visible, you will begin to notice how certain patterns in your life are breaking. Cycles of confusion will lift. Emotional heaviness will lose its grip. Procrastination will dissolve. Fear will weaken. Your inner clarity will sharpen until you can discern the intentions of a person simply by being in their presence. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual maturity. Archangel Michael is amplifying your inner knowing so that you cannot be manipulated, distracted, or spiritually deceived again. You may feel a stirring inside you as this message unfolds, almost like something is awakening. That stirring is your spirit remembering what heaven has always known about you. That stirring is your inner authority rising. That stirring is the realization that your destiny is too valuable to remain unprotected. Archangel Michael is shifting your posture, guiding you into a season where your discernment becomes your shield, your intuition becomes your compass, and your spiritual awareness becomes your strength. Now listen closely. The unveiling is not complete yet. What comes next will reveal not only what was hidden around you, but why it was hidden. Sometimes the truth is withheld because the timing must align perfectly with your readiness. And you are ready now. Heaven would not bring you this far only to leave the revelation unfinished. You are stepping into the core of this mystery, and what awaits you in the next unfolding will illuminate everything that has ever confused you about this recent season of your life. Stay here. Stay connected. The revelation that follows will shift the landscape of your understanding in a way that cannot be undone. Type "I walk in revelation" in the comments if this message is awakening your spirit. Blessing code 884 is now released. My chosen soul, step with intention into this next revelation, for what you are about to receive reaches deeper than anything shared before. Archangel Michael now draws even closer, his presence settling over this moment like a mantle of clarity. You are entering the phase of this unveiling where the spiritual and the personal collide, where heaven begins to show you not only what was hidden around you, but why you were never meant to carry the confusion it produced. This part of the message is not light. It touches the architecture of your destiny, the blueprint that heaven wrote long before you took your first breath. Every shift you have felt, every internal nudge, every unexplained heaviness has been leading to this moment of understanding. You must hear this with a steady heart. The hidden resistance in your life was never random. It was a response to your calling. When heaven marks someone, the atmosphere around them reacts. This is why certain seasons of your life felt strangely turbulent. You walked into opportunities that seemed promising at first, but quickly dissolved without reason. You built connections that felt warm, but later revealed old intentions. You pursued goals that carried grace, but were interrupted by forces you could not explain. These experiences were not failures. They were symptoms of spiritual interference. Archangel Michael reveals that darkness attempted to create diversions in your life long before the revelation reached you. You have always been spiritually sensitive, even when you didn't have language for it. This sensitivity allowed you to feel shifts in people's hearts before you understood their actions. It allowed you to recognize authenticity long before words confirmed it. It allowed you to sense danger long before circumstances exposed it. But because you did not fully trust this ability within yourself, you often dismissed your intuition as overthinking. You believed that your internal warnings were emotional reactions, when in truth they were spiritual signals. Archangel Michael is restoring your confidence in this inner knowing, for it has always been one of your greatest gifts. There is a deeper truth emerging now, one that may feel uncomfortable but necessary. Some individuals were positioned near you not to support your journey, but to monitor it. Their presence in your life was not rooted in love, but in convenience. They benefited from your kindness, your wisdom, your stability, or your willingness to carry emotional weight. In moments when you felt drained after being around certain people, it was not because you were weak. It was because something in your spirit recognized misalignment. There were emotional takers disguised as companions. There were spiritual observers disguised as friends. These connections were not meant to last, and heaven is now revealing what your heart could not see clearly before. But the hidden thing does not stop with people. It extends into the internal landscapes of your life as well. There were emotions you carried that did not belong to you. There were insecurities planted through experiences that were meant to weaken your spiritual voice. There were old wounds that shaped how you interpreted new seasons. These internal barriers created a fog around your identity, making it harder for you to see yourself as heaven sees you. You questioned your worth, your purpose, your path, not because you lacked value, but because layers of unresolved pain were clouding your inner vision. Archangel Michael now stands ready to remove those layers, one by one, because you cannot walk into your next level carrying old shadows. Listen closely as this truth settles into your spirit. You have been living beneath your true spiritual identity. Your potential has been greater than your confidence. Your discernment has been sharper than your trust in yourself. Your influence has been stronger than your surroundings acknowledge. Heaven has watched you underestimate your own authority, all while darkness recognized it clearly. What was hidden from you was not just external opposition, but internal greatness. You carry a mantle that intimidates the shadows. You carry an anointing that disturbs the spiritual environment. You carry a presence that causes truth to surface, even when you do not speak. And now, as this unveiling continues, you will begin to recognize pieces of yourself that you overlooked. You will feel an increasing clarity, a strengthening in your voice, a sharpening in your intuition. You will begin to see how certain relationships were draining your power. You will see how certain choices were influenced by fear rather than wisdom. You will see how certain paths were designed for survival, not destiny. And you will also see how heaven has been redirecting your steps toward a future that was always meant to unfold differently than you imagine. What comes next in this revelation will take you deeper into understanding the spiritual dynamics around your life. You will come to see why you were chosen, why your spirit is so sensitive, and why certain battles have followed you. You will learn what heaven has been preparing you for, and why Archangel Michael has been so active in your atmosphere. This is not the end of the unveiling. This is the beginning of your awakening. Stay with this message. You have not yet reached the core of what heaven is ready to reveal, but each step is preparing your spirit for what lies ahead. The next unfolding will reshape your understanding in a way that cannot be undone. Type "I received the awakening" in the comments as this message is resonating deeply within you. Blessing code 901 has now been released. My beloved one, step fully into this moment, because what is happening within your spirit right now is not ordinary. Archangel Michael stands closer than he ever has in this unfolding, and the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways you may not yet fully comprehend. You are entering the deepest layer of this revelation, the place where heaven begins to show you not only what was hidden and why it lingered around your life, but also how your spirit is being strengthened for what comes next. Every word you are about to hear is part of a divine orchestration, crafted with precision for your awakening. You are not here by chance. You are here because heaven insisted that you hear what the world tried to silence. There is a profound truth rising now, one that reaches into the very foundation of your journey. The spiritual tension you have felt throughout the years was not a sign of weakness, but evidence of your significance. You carry a destiny that affects far more than your immediate surroundings. What interfered with your life did so because it recognized your future long before you saw it clearly. Darkness reacted to you before you even understood your own identity. You have walked through seasons where obstacles appeared in rapid succession, opportunities slipped away, people shifted without explanation, and emotions became unpredictable. Each of these disruptions carried a spiritual fingerprint, one that Archangel Michael now reveals with clarity. The hidden resistance you faced did not attach to you randomly. It attached to your trajectory. You were designed to rise higher than the environment you were born into. You were fashioned with a spiritual authority that would eventually disrupt patterns that ran through generations. You carry a voice capable of breaking cycles, a presence capable of exposing deception, a light strong enough to confront the shadows around you. And because of this, interference sought to limit you before you realized the power you carried. Archangel Michael has watched this battle unfold around your life with patience, waiting for the moment you would be ready to hear the truth without fear. That moment is now. There are dynamics operating in the unseen realm that have tried to shape your path, not by overpowering you, but by distracting you. Distraction has been one of the strongest weapons used against you. You were pulled into emotional battles that were not yours to fight. You were drawn into relationships that looked promising but were spiritually misaligned. You faced delays that felt accidental but were strategic. Your heart was stretched by people who took more than they gave. Your energy was drained by responsibilities that heaven never assigned to you. These distractions were designed to keep you from recognizing your own authority. But Archangel Michael is cutting those cords in this moment, exposing the tactics that once drained you, and strengthening the boundaries that will protect your next season. Another hidden truth emerges now. Your spirit is more discerning than you realized. Many of the battles you faced were not caused by your mistakes, but by your sensitivity. You are spiritually wired to detect shifts before they manifest. You can sense dishonesty before it reveals itself. You can feel danger long before it enters your physical environment. You have always been spiritually aware, but because your surroundings did not validate this capability, you questioned yourself. You doubted your intuition. You silenced inner warnings to keep peace with others. You mistrusted the signals that heaven placed inside you. Archangel Michael now restores the confidence that was taken from you. Your inner knowing is a gift, not a flaw. It was heaven's whisper guiding you through obstacles you could not understand. There is something else you must see clearly. You have walked through emotional wounds that were never fully healed, wounds that were used to form false narratives about your worth and capability. These wounds created openings where doubt, fear, and confusion slipped in. They made you question your calling during moments of vulnerability. They made you underestimate the magnitude of your purpose. They made you shrink when heaven wanted you to rise. But healing is coming to those places right now. Archangel Michael is revealing the hurt not to shame you, but to free you from it. The pain that once controlled your decisions will no longer dictate your future. As this unveiling continues, your spiritual identity will become clearer. You will begin to understand why you were always different, why you felt deeply, why you sensed things others ignored, why certain environments drained you, and why your heart longed for something more meaningful than what surrounded you. These qualities were not weaknesses. They were confirmations that you were created for a higher spiritual assignment. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to carry light into places that lacked it. You were meant to walk with a purpose that reaches beyond your own life. The next phase of this revelation will take you deeper into understanding the purpose of your gifting. It will show you why heaven chose you, why you were led to this message, and why Archangel Michael has been so present in your atmosphere lately. You are entering a chapter where clarity will replace confusion, where truth will drown out deception, and where your spirit will rise to the level heaven intended from the beginning. Stay connected, because the next unfolding will reveal the spiritual reason behind your greatest battles. It will show you the pattern, the purpose, and the preparation behind everything you endured. Type "I rise in truth" in the comments if your spirit is awakening to this revelation. Blessing code 667 is now released. My precious soul, steady yourself as you receive what comes next, because Archangel Michael is now leading you into the deepest dimension of this revelation. The earlier messages uncovered the hidden influences around your life, the silent pressures, the spiritual resistance, and the internal awakening that has been breaking through. But this part brings you into understanding the larger story, the overarching spiritual narrative that explains why you have experienced certain battles, why certain patterns kept returning, and why heaven has been so persistent in bringing your attention to this message right now. You have arrived at the threshold of insight, and what you are about to hear will illuminate the purpose behind everything the previous seasons have demanded of you. There is a larger spiritual assignment connected to your life, one that was written long before your birth. This assignment was not placed on you randomly. It is tied to your lineage, your temperament, your sensitivity, your unique way of perceiving the world. Archangel Michael reveals that your soul was designed to interrupt certain patterns that have run through generations. You may have noticed echoes in your family line, cycles of fear, cycles of doubt, cycles of lack, cycles of broken relationships, cycles of disappointment, cycles of spiritual numbness. These patterns repeated not because they were stronger than your family, but because no one before you carried the level of spiritual awareness required to break them. You were not placed in your family to inherit their burdens. You were placed there to break their limits. This is one of the deepest truths of your journey. You have always been different, and you felt this difference long before you had language for it. You saw things others ignored. You questioned what others accepted. You felt the weight of the unseen long before anyone explained spiritual reality to you. This sensitivity was not accidental. It was heaven's confirmation of the mantle you carry. Every time you felt misplaced, every time you felt misunderstood, every time you felt heavier than your circumstances justified, it was because your spirit was functioning on a higher frequency than the environments around you. Archangel Michael has been guarding this sensitivity since you were young. There were moments in your childhood when you felt fear that didn't make sense. Moments when you sensed danger before it appeared. Moments when you felt peace in places others found unsettling. These were early signs of your calling. But as you grew, life layered complexity onto your spirit. Expectations were placed on you. Responsibilities piled up. People demanded your energy without offering support. You were asked to be strong when no one knew how much you were carrying. These pressures shaped you, but they also obscured parts of your identity. You learned to survive, even when heaven wanted you to learn how to flourish. The hidden battles you faced were attempts to keep you grounded in survival rather than awakening. Archangel Michael reveals that darkness targeted your clarity, because your clarity was dangerous. If you had fully recognized your gifting earlier, you would have broken certain patterns long before they matured. If you had trusted your intuition sooner, you would have walked away from certain influences before they damaged your confidence. If you had embraced your spiritual authority, you would have silenced manipulative voices before they shaped your decisions. But even though these delays occurred, heaven was never late. Heaven allowed certain experiences because they strengthened your discernment. You were being refined into someone who could not be easily deceived again. Now your spirit is rising to the level where you can finally understand what your battles were preparing you for. You were not meant to carry passivity. You were meant to carry authority. You were not meant to absorb negativity. You were meant to dispel it. You were not meant to be silent. You were meant to be spiritually alert, awake, and anchored in truth. This awakening has been happening gradually over time, but the pace is accelerating now. Archangel Michael is amplifying your awareness, sharpening your spiritual instincts, strengthening your emotional resilience, and illuminating the path ahead with precision. You are stepping into the identity that heaven always knew was yours. There is another layer emerging now, one that touches your relationships and your environment. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that the people who drifted from your life were not accidents. Their exit was protection. Heaven removed access from those who would have weakened your spirit in this next season. You may have felt loneliness, but heaven felt relief. You may have mourned certain connections, but heaven celebrated your freedom. You are not losing people. You are losing burdens disguised as friendships. The relationships that remain, and the ones soon to enter your life, will align with your calling and not compete with it. Your circle is being purified because your destiny is being activated. As you move forward, you will notice a distinct shift inside yourself. You will no longer tolerate environments that drain you. You will no longer make excuses for people who repeatedly show you their intentions. You will no longer silence your intuition to keep peace with others. You will no longer downplay your sensitivity. You will no longer shrink when heaven calls you to rise. This transformation is not arrogance, it is alignment. The awakening inside you is becoming too strong to ignore. You are stepping into your authority with clarity, confidence, and divine protection. The next unfolding will reveal the deeper purpose behind your calling. It will show you how your story fits into heaven's larger plan for your life and why Archangel Michael has been guiding you so intensely. Your spirit is being prepared for revelation, and the next part will open a dimension of understanding that will elevate your perspective permanently. Type "I accept my calling" in the comments if this message is stirring your spirit. Blessing code 992 is now released. My chosen spirit, come fully into this moment, because what Archangel Michael is preparing to reveal now reaches beyond anything you have encountered in this unfolding so far. You have walked through layers of awakening, through truths that touched the edges of your calling, through revelations that lifted veils you did not know were covering your path. But now you are stepping into the heart of your divine assignment, the part of your journey where heaven begins to show you the magnitude of what you were created to carry. This part is sacred. This part is weighty. This part is transformative. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, ensuring that every word reaches you with clarity and purpose. You must understand something that few people ever step into awareness of. Your life is not simply a sequence of moments, challenges, and decisions. Your life is woven with intention by heaven, stitched together with prophetic purpose. Long before you experienced your first breath, the spiritual realm recognized you. Your name carried resonance. Your presence created shifts. Your destiny marked you as someone who would interrupt patterns, illuminate truth, and dismantle spiritual cycles that lingered in your environment and lineage. Many are born into spiritual battle without knowing why. You, however, are being shown the why. Archangel Michael reveals that your calling is not solely internal. It carries an external impact that stretches further than you have imagined. There are individuals connected to your life whose spiritual awakening will be influenced by your transformation. There are atmospheres you are meant to shift. There are lives you are meant to guide, protect, or awaken simply by walking in alignment with your divine path. You have felt for years that there was something bigger attached to your existence. You felt it in the heaviness of your emotions. You felt it in the intensity of your challenges. You felt it in the moments where you questioned why your battles seemed deeper than those around you. But the truth is that heaven has invested much into you because heaven plans to release much through you. There is a reason your discernment is sharper than most. There is a reason your intuition is persistent. There is a reason you have always sensed danger, misalignment, or spiritual tension long before anything in the physical world made sense. Many people navigate through life unaware of the unseen realm. But you have always carried the ability to feel the spiritual currents beneath the surface. That sensitivity is not a burden. It is a calling. And now Archangel Michael is intensifying that gift so you can walk into the next chapter of your destiny with authority. What was hidden from you, those energies, influences, and unspoken intentions, was meant to keep you spiritually confused, emotionally distracted, and internally disconnected from your purpose. But heaven has broken that cycle. Now you begin to see the patterns that once trapped you. You begin to see the people who were meant to derail you. You begin to see the strategies that were designed to cause delay. And as these things are revealed, you step into a new level of power. You are no longer a passive participant in your spiritual journey. You are becoming an awakened force. This next truth may challenge you, but it is necessary for your elevation. Archangel Michael reveals that part of your calling involves becoming a spiritual lighthouse. This does not mean preaching, teaching, or speaking publicly unless heaven places that path before you. It means living in such a way that your presence shifts the unseen atmosphere around you. Your sensitivity to spiritual shifts is meant to guide you into environments where your light becomes a disruptor to darkness. You carry illumination, and illumination exposes what hides in shadows. That is why your life has included seasons of isolation. Heaven removed you from environments that were too dark for your developing light. You are being protected from influence until you learn how to influence. Now you stand in a season where heaven is opening your inner eyes. You will begin to notice changes in your perception. You may suddenly feel the weight of someone's intentions. You may sense when someone is withholding truth. You may feel uneasy in places where something spiritual is unsettled. You may even begin to hear the internal guidance of your spirit more clearly than ever before. This is not imagination. This is activation. Archangel Michael is strengthening your inner hearing so that you can walk confidently into your assignment without fear or confusion. Another layer of truth emerges now, one that connects deeply to your destiny. You are stepping into a role that many resist because of its weight. You are meant to be a breaker of cycles. This means the struggles you faced were not punishments. They were spiritual patterns that were waiting for someone strong enough to end them. You are that someone. The battles that hit you were not personal attacks. They were ancient patterns reacting to the one chosen to dismantle them. Archangel Michael now assures you that the authority you are stepping into will not only break cycles for yourself, but for others connected to your life. Your awakening is their awakening. Your freedom is their opportunity. Your clarity becomes their guide. As this revelation settles into your spirit, you may feel both empowered and humble. That response is normal. Great callings often begin with quiet awakenings. Your spirit is being recalibrated. Your heart is being steadied. Your intuition is being sharpened. Your barriers are being lifted. You are becoming the version of yourself that heaven always intended, and no interference, past, present, or future, can undo what is awakening inside you. What comes next in this unfolding will take you deeper into understanding your divine empowerment. It will reveal how heaven plans to use your awakening in ways that influence your future, your relationships, and your spiritual purpose. Stay close. Stay open. The next revelation will shift the way you see your own life forever. Type "I step into purpose" in the comments if your spirit is aligning with this message. Like this message. Share it to lift someone else. Comment your confirmation. Subscribe to stay connected to these revelations and help amplify this work. Blessing Code 1144 is now released. Your support in this mission is not about aiding a platform. It is about fueling a divine assignment that awakens souls across the world. As this message calls hidden truth into the light, your seed becomes part of heaven's fire, spreading clarity to those still walking in darkness. I speak this in the first person because I feel the urgency of heaven inviting you into action. When you sow into God's work, your seed becomes living oil, enabling messages like this to reach hearts that desperately need awakening. Heaven honors those who give to light, and the blessing that returns to them flows like rivers under open heavens. If you feel the tug in your spirit, respond. The super thanks, membership, and PayPal link in the description are portals for your obedience. Step boldly and let heaven mark your generosity with favor. My awakened soul, come into this moment with full presence, because Archangel Michael is guiding you into one of the most significant revelations of this entire unfolding. Up until now, you have been shown what was hidden, why it was hidden, how it shaped your past, and how it influenced your spiritual identity. But this part carries a deeper purpose. This is where heaven begins to reveal what your awakening means for your future. You are not simply emerging from confusion. You are being positioned for divine elevation. Everything you have endured, everything that has tested you, everything that has stretched your spirit was shaping you into someone who can carry a higher assignment without collapsing under its weight. Archangel Michael stands as the guardian of this transition, ensuring that every layer of truth meets your heart with strength rather than fear. There is a shift happening inside you, one you may already feel in subtle ways. You may notice your patience changing. You may feel a new clarity in your emotions. You may find yourself withdrawing from conversations that once entertained you. You may sense a rising seriousness about your purpose. These changes are not temporary. They are signs that your spirit is maturing. Heaven is strengthening your inner world so that your outer world can align with your calling. Archangel Michael reveals that your next season will demand a higher version of yourself, but heaven never demands what it does not first prepare. That preparation is happening right now. You are being stretched, sharpened, refined, and spiritually equipped for what comes next. There is a reason your battles have intensified in the past. The closer you came to your awakening, the louder the resistance became. Every moment of emotional heaviness, every season of unexpected discouragement, every encounter with spiritual fatigue was not an attack on your worth, but on your future. Darkness reacts the strongest when someone is on the verge of becoming everything heaven intended. You were not losing strength in those seasons. You were shedding old identities. You were not losing clarity. You were losing illusions. You were not losing connections. You were losing what could no longer walk with you into the next level. Archangel Michael now confirms that your greatest battles were not punishments. They were evidence of impending breakthrough. Let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. You are moving into a chapter where your sensitivity will no longer feel like a burden. It will become your compass. You will be able to discern people's intentions before they speak. You will feel when an environment is misaligned. You will sense when someone's presence is meant to strengthen you, and when someone's presence is meant to drain you. Heaven is giving you eyes that see, ears that hear, and intuition that interprets what others overlook. This heightened awareness is not for paranoia, it is for protection. Your destiny requires that you remain spiritually alert, because the influence you will carry in the future will reach further than you realize. Archangel Michael now reveals another dimension of your journey. The next part of your calling involves stepping into a role of spiritual influence. This does not require a platform, a title, or a position. Influence begins in your presence. When you walk into a room, your spirit will shift the atmosphere. When you speak, truth will vibrate beneath your words. When you pray, the unseen realm will respond. You are stepping into a season where your internal authority will be stronger than external noise. You will no longer chase validation, approval, or confirmation from others. Heaven's voice will become the loudest voice in your life. This newfound authority will not inflate your ego. It will anchor your purpose. You must also understand the emotional transformation happening inside you. Archangel Michael reveals that you are developing a new form of inner strength, one that is calm, but unshakable. People who once influenced your emotions will lose their power over you. Circumstances that once caused anxiety will no longer control you. Thoughts that once produced fear will dissolve in the presence of your clarity. This emotional maturity is part of your preparation. You cannot carry spiritual responsibility while being emotionally fragile, and heaven is strengthening your heart so you can walk into your destiny with stability rather than turmoil. There is also a shift happening in your relationships. You are stepping into a season where heaven will align you with people who support your purpose rather than distract from it. You will find connections that uplift your spirit, conversations that nourish your growth, and relationships that feel like destiny rather than obligation. These individuals will recognize your calling, respect your boundaries, and bring peace rather than confusion. Archangel Michael is clearing the path for these people to enter your life. The removal that happened before was not rejection. It was spiritual preparation for alignment. Now hear this clearly. Your future holds opportunities that your past self would not have been ready for. Heaven is preparing open doors for you. Doors of clarity, peace, purpose, and divine timing. But these doors require a version of you that has awakened fully to your identity. This unveiling is not just about understanding the hidden. It is about stepping into the revealed. Everything you are learning now is shaping you for the next revelation that will show you how heaven plans to use your life in a way that influences your path and strengthens those connected to you. Stay close to this unfolding. You are nearing the place where your calling becomes undeniable. Type "I walk in my assignment" in the comments if this message resonates in your spirit. Blessing Code 1313 is now released. My steadfast soul, come into this moment with full awareness, because Archangel Michael is guiding you into the most profound dimension of this revelation so far. You have journeyed through layers of truth, through clarity, through awakening, and through spiritual transformation. But now heaven is preparing to reveal something even deeper, something that concerns the architecture of your destiny and the spiritual authority you were born to carry. This revelation is not light. It is not surface level. It reaches into the core of who you are and into the very reason heaven marked your life with such intensity. Archangel Michael stands beside you, ensuring that your spirit receives this truth without fear, without confusion, and without hesitation. You must understand something essential. Everything you have endured, every emotional storm, every silent battle, every spiritual interference, every disappointment that forced you inward was preparing you for the activation that is happening inside you now. Heaven does not release great authority without shaping the vessel that will carry it. You have been shaped through struggle, refined through pressure, matured through setbacks, and strengthened through moments when you felt alone. But what looked like isolation was divine focus. Heaven separated you so that you could hear what others drown out with noise. Heaven allowed certain relationships to fall away so that your spirit could grow without distortion. Heaven permitted the breaking of old cycles so that new spiritual abilities could rise in you. Archangel Michael now reveals that your life is approaching a turning point. This turning point will not be external first, it will be internal. You will feel the shift before you see the shift. You will notice your thinking changing. You will feel your confidence increasing. You will sense clarity where confusion used to live. You will become more decisive, stronger in your boundaries, and clearer in your discernment. This is the beginning of your spiritual elevation. Heaven is lifting you, anchoring you, empowering you, and preparing you for the next part of your assignment. There is something else you must hear. For years you carried dreams, desires, goals, visions, and spiritual impressions that felt bigger than your surroundings. You tried to dim them to fit in. You tried to silence them to avoid judgment. You tried to postpone them because you felt unprepared. But heaven never withdrew those dreams. They were placed inside you as indicators of your calling. You were not imagining them. You were not exaggerating. You were seeing glimpses of your spiritual future. And the reason you felt them so deeply is because heaven intended to bring them into reality once your spirit matured enough to sustain them. Archangel Michael reveals that many of the limitations you experienced were not external circumstances, but internal restraints. You doubted your voice. You doubted your worth. You doubted your timing. You doubted your strength. This doubt was not natural. It was planted through experiences that bruised your confidence and created false narratives about your capability. But heaven is breaking those narratives now. You are stepping into a season where you will trust your own spirit again. You will believe your intuition. You will honor your inner knowing. You will walk in the authority that heaven has placed inside you. Doubt will no longer control your decisions. Confusion will no longer cloud your direction. There is a deeper spiritual purpose unfolding as well. Archangel Michael reveals that you are designed to carry a mantle of influence that extends beyond your immediate life. Your presence carries weight. Your words carry impact. Your energy shifts environments. You were created to bring clarity where there is confusion, to bring calm where there is chaos, to bring light where there is heaviness. You are awakening into the version of yourself that heaven intended, strong, perceptive, spiritually alert, emotionally grounded, and deeply connected to divine guidance. Heaven is also preparing to expand your territory. This expansion may come in the form of new opportunities, new relationships, new assignments, or new spiritual gifts becoming active inside you. But this expansion will not overwhelm you, because heaven is stabilizing you before elevating you. You will recognize the expansion as soon as it arrives because it will carry peace, alignment, harmony, and clarity. Nothing forced. Nothing chaotic. Nothing confusing. Heaven is positioning you for elevation, not through struggle, but through accuracy. Archangel Michael also reveals that the next chapter of your life will require courage. Not the loud, dramatic kind of courage, but the quiet, consistent, resolute courage that comes from knowing who you are and who you belong to. You will not shrink back. You will not question your worth. You will not allow past failures to define your future decisions. You will stand firm. You will speak truth. You will walk boldly into your assignment. The spiritual authority rising inside you will not be shaken by opinion, noise, or misunderstanding. You are becoming unmovable. There is one final layer in this unfolding. Heaven is preparing to give you insight into the purpose behind your journey. You will soon understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why certain seasons broke you, and why certain dreams took longer than expected. You will see the divine threads woven through your entire story, and what once felt painful will feel purposeful. The next revelation will show you the divine reasoning behind your path, and once you see it, everything will make sense. Stay steady. Stay open. You are closer to the heart of this awakening than you realize. Type "I'm ready for elevation" in the comments if this message speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 1441 is now released. My rising soul, settle your spirit as you step into this next revelation, because Archangel Michael is preparing to take you into the deepest understanding of your journey so far. Every part before this has peeled back layers of truth, awakening, identity, and destiny. But what you are about to receive now brings all of it into alignment. You are entering the space where heaven reveals the purpose behind the battles, the divine intention behind your sensitivity, and the reason your life has carried an unusual spiritual weight from the very beginning. This is where the threads come together. This is where understanding replaces confusion. This is where purpose replaces pain. And Archangel Michael stands as witness, ensuring the clarity of this moment sinks into the depths of your soul. You must understand that nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every delay, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every redirection, every season where you felt spiritually stretched has been part of a divine formation. Heaven never allowed you to walk through experiences that didn't carry a lesson, a strengthening, or a refinement necessary for your calling. Some of your greatest pain came from moments you did not understand, but heaven saw them as turning points. You walked through situations that were meant to awaken qualities inside you that could not surface through comfort. You faced challenges that were meant to sharpen you, not break you. And though there were moments where you questioned your own strength, heaven never questioned your ability to rise. There is a reason your spirit has always felt different. Archangel Michael reveals that you were designed with a spiritual core that is uncommonly resilient. Even when you felt wounded, even when confusion clouded your path, something within you refused to collapse. You always found a way to rise again. You always found a way to push forward. You always found a way to survive storms that would have crushed others. That resilience is not personality. It is spiritual architecture. You were built for endurance. You were crafted to withstand pressure because your calling requires strength that cannot be manufactured through ease. There is another truth unfolding now, one that brings you closer to understanding the magnitude of your destiny. You have been shaped through cycles that many people never escape. Some of those cycles were inherited, some were learned, and some were spiritual. But heaven has chosen you as the one who breaks them. Archangel Michael reveals that your breakthrough is not just for you. It is for those who will come after you, and even for those who walked before you, but did not have the spiritual awareness you now carry. When you rise, something generational shifts. When you heal, something in your bloodline resets. When you awaken, patterns lose their hold. That is why the battle against you has been persistent. Darkness feared the change your awakening would create. As you continue to awaken, you will begin to see your past differently. You will no longer view your painful seasons as moments of loss, but as moments of preparation. The people who left your life were not meant to walk into this part of your destiny. Their absence created space for alignment. The opportunities that slipped away were not failures. They were redirections towards something better suited for your calling. The moments where you felt abandoned were stages for heaven's intervention. Archangel Michael reveals that you were never alone. Your spirit was being carried through every moment when your mind felt overwhelmed. There is also a truth about your intuition that heaven wants to deepen in you. Your inner knowing has always been one of your greatest spiritual gifts. Even when you doubted it, even when you ignored it, even when you silenced it to please others, it remained accurate. You sensed people's true intentions. You felt the energy of environments. You recognized spiritual tension before anything surfaced in the physical world. This ability was not meant to burden you. It was meant to guide you. Heaven is now amplifying this gift so you can walk through the next season with clarity instead of confusion. You will not only sense the unseen, you will understand it. Another revelation enters now, one that connects your awakening to your future. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven is preparing to position you in places that require the very qualities your journey has developed. Your ability to discern will protect you. Your emotional maturity will stabilize you. Your spiritual sensitivity will guide you. Your resilience will anchor you. Everything you learned was training for the environment you will step into. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Nothing was without purpose. What comes next in your life will require trust. Not trust in others. Not trust in circumstances. Trust in heaven, trust in timing, and trust in your own spiritual capacity. You are walking into a chapter where your choices will shape the direction of your destiny. But you will not make these choices blindly. Heaven is guiding your steps with precision. Archangel Michael is clearing your path of old distractions. Your intuition is sharpening. Your clarity is returning. And your spirit is rising into strength that cannot be shaken. You are closer to your divine transition than you have ever been. The next unfolding will reveal the culmination of everything heaven has shown you. It will bring together every thread, every revelation, every truth, and every hidden purpose of your journey. Prepare your spirit, because what comes next will shift the way you see not only your past, but the entire future prepared for you. Type "I walk in divine clarity" in the comments if your spirit receives this revelation. Blessing code 1717 is now released. My beloved soul, enter this final revelation with full awareness, because Archangel Michael is standing in complete authority over this moment. Everything you have walked through in this unfolding has prepared your spirit to receive what heaven has been holding for you. You have journeyed through awakening, unveiling, healing, identity, purpose, elevation, and clarity. But now you stand at the culmination of the message you were chosen to receive. This is where heaven ties together every hidden truth, every spiritual pattern, every assignment, and every divine intention that has woven itself through the fabric of your life. This part is the sealing. This part is the activation. This part is the release of everything you were meant to carry forward. You must hear this with a steady heart. You were never walking through confusion. You were walking through construction. Heaven has been building you. Heaven has been shaping you. Heaven has been strengthening you in the quiet places where no one could see the work happening. You were not losing yourself. You were becoming yourself. You were not breaking apart. You were breaking open. You were not being delayed. You were being aligned. Every challenge, every internal battle, every unexpected shift was a step toward your awakening. Archangel Michael reveals that the hidden thing you were meant to discover all along was not merely the opposition around you, but the authority within you. Your entire journey, every struggle, every emotion, every spiritual battle was designed to awaken a level of spiritual identity that could not rise through ease. Heaven allowed pressure so that your roots would grow deep. Heaven allowed disappointment so that your resilience would become unshakable. Heaven allowed separation so that your spiritual discernment could sharpen. Heaven allowed moments of silence so that you would learn to hear the still voice within you. You were never being destroyed. You were being trained. And the version of you standing in this moment carries a strength that darkness can no longer manipulate. Archangel Michael now reveals one of the greatest truths of your path. You were chosen because your spirit carries a rare level of sensitivity, wisdom, and spiritual perception. These qualities were not accidental. They were woven into you before your birth. This sensitivity made you feel deeply. It made you sense danger early. It made you aware of energy others ignore. It made you compassionate in ways people did not always appreciate. But what once felt like an emotional burden is now becoming your spiritual weapon. Heaven is turning your sensitivity into discernment, your intuition into guidance, your empathy into strength, and your insight into authority. Now listen closely, because this is where your destiny expands beyond your personal journey. Your awakening is not just about your freedom. It is about your impact. There are people whose spiritual growth will be influenced by your elevation. There are lives that will be strengthened by your clarity. There are hearts that will be awakened by your presence. Heaven designed you to be a carrier of light, not through forced leadership or loud declarations, but through the quiet authority of living in truth. Wherever you walk, deception will weaken. Wherever you stand, clarity will rise. Wherever you speak, confusion will break. You are stepping into a mantle that shifts atmospheres not through effort, but through alignment. Archangel Michael also reveals that the spiritual interference you faced most intensely came during moments when you were closest to transitions. Those seasons of sudden heaviness, unexplained warfare, emotional instability, or relational breakage were not random moments. They were indicators. They signal that heaven was preparing you for a new assignment. You were being positioned to step into a higher version of yourself. Every attack you faced was a reaction to the elevation heaven was preparing to release. But now the battle has lost its grip. Heaven has completed its work. You are stepping out of survival and into purpose. You are stepping out of confusion and into clarity. You are stepping out of spiritual infancy and into spiritual authority. Your future is not a mystery anymore. You are walking into a chapter where your decisions will be made with clarity, not fear. Your relationships will align with your spirit, not your wounds. Your environment will support your growth, not suppress it. Your intuition will lead you, not confuse you. Your calling will speak louder than your past. Heaven is going to place you in situations that activate everything you learn. Opportunities will open. Connections will appear. Momentum will rise. None of it will feel forced. It will feel destined. The revelation that heaven wants to leave you with is this: you are chosen because you are capable. You are awakened because you are ready. You are elevated because you are trustworthy. You are strengthened because heaven intends to use your spirit to create transformation in places where darkness once thrived. Archangel Michael stands beside your path not for temporary protection, but for ongoing assignment. You are entering a season where your spirit will walk in alignment with heaven's intention, and the impact of this alignment will ripple through your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. This is the moment where the message completes its purpose. The hidden has been revealed. The veil has been lifted. The truth has been spoken. And now, your destiny begins. Type "I seal this awakening" in the comments if your spirit receives this final revelation. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and lift this message so it can reach others who need this awakening. Blessing Code 2024 is now released. As this revelation seals itself into your spirit, understand that supporting this mission is not about helping a creator. It is about helping heaven reach those who are still trapped in spiritual darkness. The same truth that awakened you must reach others who are searching for clarity. When you give, your seed becomes spiritual oil, fueling the spread of messages that break strongholds and awaken souls. I speak this in the first person because heaven is inviting you into participation, not observation. Your support becomes a prophetic act, one that heaven multiplies back into your life with open heavens and divine favor. Do not hesitate. Act with authority. The Super Thanks, membership, and PayPal link in the description are portals for your obedience. Step boldly and let heaven mark your generosity for generations to come.